Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik Darwish. There is a lot which we are seeing, experiencing, and observing in the world. There is a lot which can be learnt out of that as well, which must be learnt. Apart from that, there are certain intelligent people and wise people in the society as well, which should be benefited in this regard, where we need to learn from them. Not only this, dear friends, there are certain people in the history, a certain people in the history who were very very wise people, and there are a lot which they actually try to teach us as well. We should also be benefiting from them. And as far our today's discussion of topic of discussion is concerned, we are going to learn from someone else who is in the history and who is a Chinese philosopher, and his work is known as the Taoist philosophy. His name was his name was Lao Tzu, and this person has done quite a lot of beneficial work for the humanity, which is worth benefiting from. And this is going to be the topic of our today's discussion as well. For that purpose, we have chosen a very useful and beneficial article which has been written by Juliana Summers. Juliana Summers is a well-known researcher and author, and she has written a very useful and beneficial article. And the caption of this article is 10 life lessons from the Taoist master Lao Tzu. And you can say that Taoism in 10 points. That is very very beneficial article indeed. So let's look upon those 10 important points of the Taoist philosophy. First of all, Taoist philosophy says embrace simplicity. The first and the foremost thing which the Taoist philosophy teaches us is to be as simple a person as you can be, because the simplicity will eradicate the complication, the difficulties, and so many of the unnecessary efforts out of our life. So we need to embrace simplicity. Let's try to become as simple a person as it is possible. Number two, Taoist philosophy says flexibility begets resilience. Flexibility begets resilience. Indeed, we need to become like a water. The water is so flexible that it will make its own place without any sort, no hurdle will be able to stop the movement of the water, because the water makes its own way. So we need to become as flexible and as resilient as the water. Dear friends, it is the lack of flexibility, it is the lack of adaptability, it is the lack of resilience which actually does not allow us to keep moving despite the hurdles, despite the difficulties. We need to embrace the resilience, and to become a resilient person, we need to become flexible enough, we need to become adaptable enough. Number three, the Taoist philosophy says, empty your cup, empty your cup before you start receiving something worthwhile. What does it mean? That there are already certain notions inside the mind of everyone else. So there are certain things which have become so rigid, so fixed, that it does not allow us to listen well, to understand well, and to accept and adopt well the new and the useful ideas, the new and the useful self philosophy. While we are listening, while there is something in front of us, let's become a totally and absolutely a neutral person. Then only we will be able to grasp the new philosophies. Now the number 4 important point out of the Taoist philosophy is act without unnecessary effort. Act without unnecessary effort. Effortless action. Work in harmony with the nature. It actually says that be as natural as it is possible. Avoid all the artificiality. Avoid all the formal and the informal things, because as long as we are stuck in the formalities, as long as there is artificiality, as long as there is fake things in our life, I think we will not be able to live well at all. So that all what we need to do is that we need to act without unnecessary effort. Now the number 5 is harmonize opposites. Harmonize opposites. What does it mean? It actually means that if at all somebody does not agree with us, if at all somebody is opposing us, if at all somebody is not in consonance with us, we don't need to oppose it. Rather, we need to understand well, we need to listen to them well, and whatever is the reasonable enough, whatever is the legitimate enough, it must be accepted with the open arm. And once we show and exhibit and practice an attitude like this one, it will become easier for them as well. They will not be making it as a matter of their ego at all. So they will try to listen, and they will try to pick certain good points out of our stance, and there is a huge probability that they will be accepting it as well. So here the number 5 point out of the Taoism philosophy is harmonize opposites. Try to try to try to develop a good working relationship, not to make them unnecessarily your enemy, because that will be a bad strategy at all. Now the number 6 is practice non attachment. What is this non attachment? We are deeply attached with certain type of environment, with certain type of people, with certain possessions, belongings, properties, and even certain notions and so-called ideologies. Here the Taoism philosophy says that practice non-attachment. Don't be attached deeply with those things at all. The more independent you are, the more beneficial, the more good you will become. All what you need to do is that practice detachment and be an independent person. Don't be deeply attached with certain things, with certain society, with certain culture, with certain ideologies, with certain type of people, and with, of course, with our possession, with our belongings. And now the next is the seventh is dwell in the here and now. Do not live in the past at all. Do not live in the past at all. Learn whatever you can learn out of the previous experiences, and even the difficult or the pleasant thing. But once we have learnt all that, now we need to close that chapter. Also, we don't need to live much in the future as well. As for the worries, as for the worries about the future, as for the regrets about the past are concerned, all of that should be put aside, and we need to learn here and now. If at all we have done certain bad things, we need to seek apology, we need to make compensation to those people. And once we have done all that, now it's the time to break free from all of that, and do not worry much about the future as well. Now, the number 8 point out of the Taoism is follow nature. Follow nature. Live as much a natural life as it is humanly possible, and learn from the nature as much as we can, and living a natural life away from the norms of the society. It will be beneficial, useful, and it will make our life much much easier. Now the number 9 point is inner calm brings wisdom. And what is the inner calm? Unless and until we are free from the anxiety of inside, we cannot live well at all. There will be no wisdom. There will be no wisdom at all. We must be peaceful from inside, the peace of mind, the peace of soul, and this thing alone will bring us the wisdom out of our own self. That is very important. And one thing which will help us a lot in that respect, it is the meditation. And the number 10 is have faith in the process. Have faith in the process. What is this mean? Don't be much faster, Don't try to become much faster, and believe in the evolution. Whatever the evolutionary process is taking place, be be in faith with that. Do not try to skip the evolution, because this evolution is something really, really natural process, and it will bring the right things in our life and in the society as well. Believe in the evolution and believe in the process. Don't try to jump, don't try to use the shortcuts, rather believe in the process. Those were the 10 beautiful points out of the Taoism, out of the Taoist philosophy. Thank you.